The National Electrical Code, or NEC, requires ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, protection in specific scenarios to enhance electrical safety. Let's examine the requirements and reasoning behind applying GFCI protection, especially in outdoor installations involving equipment such as infrared heaters. According to Article 210.8 of the NEC, ground fault circuit interrupters are required for all 125-volt, single-phase, 15 and 20 amp receptacles located at doors. This requirement aims to mitigate the risk of electrical shock in environments where exposure to moisture and ground faults is more likely. Article 422.31 further reinforces the need for GFCI protection. It states that in areas that may be subjected to moisture, such as attics, crawl spaces, garages, and outdoor locations, ground fault circuit interrupters are required for all 120-volt, single-phase, 15 and 20 amp receptacles. The core reason for mandating ground fault circuit interrupters in these contexts is to protect individuals from electrical shock hazards arising from ground faults. A ground fault occurs when electrical current deviates from its intended path and leaks to the ground, which can happen due to damaged wiring, insulation, or equipment defects. In outdoor settings and similar environments, the presence of moisture significantly increases the likelihood of ground faults. When moisture comes into contact with compromised electrical components, it creates a conductive path that facilitates the leakage of current to ground. This situation presents a serious risk of electrical shock to anyone who comes into contact with faulty equipment or the surrounding area. A ground fault circuit interrupter is designed to detect these ground faults swiftly and accurately. It continuously monitors the balance of current flowing between the hot and neutral conductors in a circuit. Under normal operating conditions, these currents should be equal. However, when a ground fault occurs, a portion of the current leaks to ground, creating an imbalance. The ground fault circuit interrupter detects this imbalance and immediately interrupts the power supply to the circuit, typically within a fraction of a second. This rapid interruption of power prevents the flow of current through a person's body, thereby minimizing the risk of serious injury or even death. Considering the scenario of installing a 480-volt single-phase infrared heater in a smoking room located 10 feet off an existing building, it's crucial to evaluate the need for ground fault circuit interrupter protection. While the NEC articles mentioned earlier specifically address 125-volt and 120-volt circuits, the underlying principle of ground fault protection remains relevant for higher voltage systems as well. The determination of whether ground fault protection is required for the 480-volt heater depends on several factors, including the specific requirements outlined in the NEC for equipment operating at that voltage, the environmental conditions of the installation, and any manufacturer's recommendations for safety. It is imperative to consult the latest edition of the NEC and relevant product standards to ascertain the specific requirements for ground fault protection in this scenario. Additionally, it's important to assess the potential for moisture exposure in the smoking room environment. If the area is subject to rain, humidity, or other forms of moisture, the risk of ground faults increases, further emphasizing the need for ground fault circuit interrupter protection. Furthermore, if the heater is located in an area accessible to personnel, such as employees or customers, the importance of ground fault protection is heightened to safeguard against accidental contact with faulty equipment. To ensure compliance with the NEC and prioritize the safety of occupants, it is advisable to consult with a qualified electrical contractor or engineer. These professionals possess the expertise to evaluate the specific installation conditions, interpret the relevant codes and standards, and recommend appropriate ground fault protection measures. In summary, while the NEC articles mentioned earlier primarily address 125-volt and 120-volt circuits, the principle of ground fault protection extends to higher voltage systems like the 480-volt heater. A comprehensive assessment of the installation environment, applicable codes, and manufacturers' recommendations is essential to determine the necessity of ground fault circuit interrupter protection and ensure the safety of individuals in the vicinity of the equipment. Firstly, understand the general concept of ground fault protection. A ground fault occurs when there is an unintended electrical path from a current-carrying conductor to ground. This can happen due to damaged insulation, moisture, or other factors. Ground fault circuit interrupters are designed to detect these faults and quickly interrupt the power supply to prevent electrical shock. Secondly, focus on the applicable NEC articles. While Articles 210.8 bone and 422.31 primarily discuss 125 volt and 120 volt receptacles, the principle of ground fault protection is universally important. For 480 volt single-phase infrared heater, you need to look at other relevant sections of the NEC that address ground fault protection for equipment operating at higher voltages. Thirdly, investigate Article 215.10. Ground fault protection of equipment. This section generally requires ground fault protection of equipment for grounded systems where the voltage exceeds 150 volts to ground, but not exceeding 1000 volts phase to phase for each feeder disconnecting means rated 1000 amps or more. This doesn't directly apply to a branch circuit for a single heater, but it illustrates the code's concern for ground fault protection at higher voltages. Fourthly, explore Article 424, Fixed Electric Space Heating Equipment. This article covers permanently installed electric space heating equipment, which might include the infrared heater. Look for specific requirements related to ground fault protection within this article. Fifthly, consider the heater's listing and labeling. The manufacturer's instructions and the equipment's listing UL, ETL, etc. often specify the required protection, including ground fault protection. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions. Sixthly, assess the environment. The location of the heater, whether it is indoors or outdoors, and the potential for moisture exposure are crucial factors. Outdoor locations generally require more stringent safety measures due to the increased risk of ground faults. Seventhly, evaluate the specific heater application. The fact that it is being used in the smoking room is less relevant than whether the location is considered wet or damp. If the area is exposed to weather or moisture, GFCI or ground fault protection is more likely to be required. Eighthly, determine the type of ground fault protection needed. There are two main types of ground fault protection: ground fault circuit interrupters, which protect personnel, and ground fault protection of equipment, which protects the equipment itself. Ground fault circuit interrupters are designed to trip at very low current levels, e.g. 5 mA to prevent electrical shock. Ground fault protection of equipment typically trips at higher current levels, e.g. 30 mA or higher, and is intended to prevent equipment damage. Ninthly, verify local amendments. Local jurisdictions may have amendments to the NEC that impose additional requirements for ground fault protection. Always check with the local electrical inspector to ensure compliance with all applicable codes. Tenthly, consult with an electrical engineer or inspector. Given the complexities of the NEC and the potential for misinterpretation, it's best to consult with a qualified electrical engineer or electrical inspector. They can provide specific guidance based on the details of your installation. To summarize, while Article 210.8 bone and Article 422.31 do not directly apply to a 480 volt heater, you must investigate other relevant sections of the NEC, such as Article 215.10 and Article 424. Consider the heater's listing, assess the environment, and consult with experts to determine the appropriate ground fault protection measures. Always prioritize safety and compliance with the latest electrical codes. When dealing with electrical installations, especially those involving higher voltages like 480 volts, it's crucial to approach the situation with a comprehensive understanding of the applicable codes, potential hazards, and available protective measures. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, serves as the primary guideline for safe electrical practices, but interpreting and applying its provisions correctly requires careful consideration of various factors. Firstly, let's revisit the fundamental principles of ground fault protection. As previously mentioned, a ground fault occurs when there's an unintended electrical path from a current-carrying conductor to ground. This can be caused by damaged insulation, moisture, or other factors that compromise the integrity of the electrical system. Ground fault circuit interrupters and ground fault protection of equipment are designed to detect these faults and quickly interrupt the power supply, but they serve different purposes and operate at different sensitivity levels. Secondly, it's essential to distinguish between ground fault circuit interrupters and ground fault protection of equipment. Ground fault circuit interrupters are primarily intended to protect personnel from electrical shock hazards. They are designed to trip at very low current levels, typically around 5 milliamps, which is below the threshold that can cause serious injury or death. When a ground fault circuit interrupter detects a ground fault, it interrupts the power supply within milliseconds, preventing the flow of current through a person's body. Ground fault protection of equipment, on the other hand, is designed to protect the equipment itself from damage caused by ground faults. These devices typically trip at higher current levels, such as 30 milliamps or higher, and are intended to prevent overheating, arcing, and other conditions that can lead to equipment failure or fire. Thirdly, when evaluating the need for ground fault protection for a 480-volt single-phase infrared heater, it's crucial to consider the specific requirements outlined in the NEC for equipment operating at that voltage. While Article 210.8 Bone and Article 422.31 primarily address 125-volt and 120-volt receptacles, they provide a valuable framework for understanding the importance of ground fault protection in general. To determine the applicable requirements for the 480-volt heater, you should consult other relevant sections of the NEC, such as Article 215.10, which covers ground fault protection of equipment for grounded systems operating at voltages exceeding 150 volts to ground. Additionally, Article 424, which deals with fixed electric space heating equipment, may contain specific provisions related to ground fault protection for heaters. Fourthly, beyond the NEC, it's essential to consider the heater's listing and labeling. The manufacturer's instructions and the equipment's listing, such as UL or ETL, often specify the required protection, including ground fault protection. Always adhere to the manufacturer's recommendations and ensure that the installation complies with the listing requirement. Fifthly, the environment in which the heater is installed plays a significant role in determining the need for ground fault protection. Outdoor locations, in particular, are more susceptible to moisture exposure, which increases the risk of ground faults. If the smoking room is exposed to rain, humidity, or other forms of moisture, it's essential to take extra precautions to protect against electrical hazards. Sixthly, consider the specific application of the heater. While the fact that it's being used in the smoking room is less relevant than the environmental conditions, it's important to assess whether the area is accessible to personnel, such as employees or customers. If the heater is located in an area where people could potentially come into contact with it, the need for ground fault circuit interrupter protection is heightened to safeguard against accidental electrical shock. Seventhly, when determining the appropriate type of ground fault protection, you need to consider the specific hazards involved. If the primary concern is protecting personnel from electrical shock, ground fault circuit interrupters are the preferred choice. However, if the main goal is to protect the equipment from damage, ground fault protection of equipment may be more suitable. In some cases, a combination of both types of protection may be necessary to provide comprehensive safety. Eighthly, it's crucial to be aware of any local amendments to the NEC that may impose additional requirements for ground fault protection. Local jurisdictions often have their own regulations that supplement or modify the NEC, and it's essential to comply with all applicable codes. Contacting the local electrical inspector is the best way to ensure that you're aware of any local amendments and that your installation meets all requirements. Ninthly, given the complexities of the NEC and the potential for misinterpretation, it's always advisable to consult with a qualified electrical engineer or electrical inspector. These professionals have the expertise to evaluate the specific installation conditions, interpret the relevant codes and standards, and recommend appropriate ground fault protection measures. They can also help you navigate any local amendments and ensure that your installation is safe and compliant. Tenthly, remember that safety should always be the top priority when dealing with electrical installations. Ground fault protection is a critical component of electrical safety, and it's essential to take the necessary steps to protect against electrical shock and equipment damage. By understanding the principles of ground fault protection, consulting the relevant codes and standards, and seeking expert advice, you can ensure that your 480-volt single-phase infrared heater is installed safely and in compliance with all applicable requirements. Furthermore, consider the long-term implications of your electrical design. While meeting the minimum code requirements is essential, it's often beneficial to exceed those requirements to enhance safety and reliability. For example, you might consider using ground fault circuit interrupters with lower trip current settings or implementing redundant ground fault protection systems to provide an extra layer of safety. Regular maintenance and inspection of electrical equipment are also crucial for ensuring its continued safe operation. Schedule periodic inspections by qualified electricians to identify and address any potential problems before they become hazard. In addition to ground fault protection, there are other safety measures that should be considered for electrical installations, such as proper grounding, overcurrent protection, and surge protection. Grounding provides a low impedance path for fault currents to return to the source, helping to prevent electrical shock and equipment damage. Overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are designed to interrupt the flow of current in the event of an overload or short circuit, preventing overheating and fire. Surge protection devices protect sensitive electronic equipment from voltage spikes caused by lightning, power surges, and other transient events. When designing an electrical system, it's important to take a holistic approach and consider all of these safety measures to ensure a comprehensive level of protection. Remember that electrical safety is an ongoing process that requires continuous vigilance and attention to detail. By staying informed about the latest codes and standards, implementing appropriate protective measures, and conducting regular maintenance and inspections, you can create a safe and reliable electrical environment for yourself and others. Also, remember to document your electrical installations thoroughly. Keep detailed records of all electrical work, including wiring diagrams, equipment specifications, and inspection reports. This documentation can be invaluable for troubleshooting problems, making future modifications, and ensuring compliance with codes and standards. In conclusion, while the specific requirements for ground fault protection for a 480-volt single-phase infrared heater may vary depending on the installation conditions and applicable codes, the underlying principle of electrical safety remains paramount. By understanding the principles of ground fault protection, consulting the relevant codes and standards, and seeking expert advice, you can ensure that your electrical installations are safe, reliable, and compliant.